Hi, welcome to Theme Honey Lessons. Today I want to review some SEO best practices, and this video is very specific to folks who are using the Genesis framework. So first we're going to go to Genesis and then SEO settings, and I just want to review what some of these options are because it can be really confusing. And if you're not an SEO, I don't know, expert, is that the right word? Even for people who are really good at building websites and putting these sites together, or programmers like myself, this can take a long time to really learn and understand what some of these things are and what some of these things mean. So the first thing, site-wide settings, and anytime you see site-wide, just think global. Add the site name to the title tag on inner pages. I'm going to say yes, let's do that. So let's look at the front end and see if we can figure out what some of these things actually mean. Basically, we're saying, hey, put the site name, the site title, which is Theme Honey Getting Started, on inner pages. And then we have a document title separator. If the title consists of two parts, then the separator will go in between them. So this could be anything. This could be a dash. I'm a big fan of the bullet, so I'm going to put a bullet instead. Document title order, additions on the right, determined which side the added title text will go on. Sure, it can go on the right. So let's go down and click Save Changes. And then let's see if we can see these things in action. So we're probably not really going to see this so much on the home page. It's really the inner pages. There we go. About Me, bullet, and then the site title. And if I hover on the tab, you can see that there's a little tool tip or a text box that appears. So that looks great to me. So if I wanted to change this and put additions on the left, let's see that in action. And that switches it. So now we have Theme Honey Getting Started, About Me, and I actually liked it the other way, so we're going to put that on the right. Okay, the home page headings. Primary title H1. Do we want this to be the site title, the site description, or I'll manually wrap my own text on the home page? Let's just leave it the home page as the site title. I think that that's a good best practice. Document title. If you leave the document title field blank, your site's title will be used instead. So that's what I want. Add the site description or the tagline to the title on the home page. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So let's go back and see what does that look like. Well, if we hover, we can see Theme Honey Getting Started, Theme Honey Lessons. That's my title and that's my site description. And where is the site description? Well, I can open another page here and show you. We saw this in a previous movie, but it's under Settings and it's under General. So let's look at this tab. Here's the site title, here's the tagline. Theme Honey Getting Started, Theme Honey Lessons. That's exactly what I want. Meta description. What's a meta description? Well, anytime we search in Google, let's see here. Let's do puppies in Minnesota. This is the description. Minnesota Pet Classifieds. So we have an opportunity to handcraft this description on all of the pages on our website. If you don't handcraft this description, Google's going to take a look at your page content and they're probably going to grab the first, 160 characters or so of what they see on the page. Now, we can add a meta description, and it says here the meta description can be used to determine the text used under the title on search engine page results. Now, what they don't tell you is that it's up to Google to honor this. So Google can come through and look at this meta description and they can say, it's not really related to the content on your page, so we're just going to put our own description in there. So be very thoughtful about what your meta description says. So I'm going to go ahead and this is the meta description for the Theme Honey lessons site. Meta keywords. Keywords are generally ignored by search engines. In the old days, keywords were a big deal. We don't do keywords anymore. Robots meta tags. Apply no index to the home page, apply no follow to the index home page, apply no archive to the home page. I generally ignore these settings. There's another place that we can make these settings, and they're global. They're not just for the home page. Document head settings. By default, WordPress places several tags in your document. Most of these tags are completely unnecessary and provide no SEO value whatsoever. They just make your site slower to load. Choose which tags you would like included in your document head. If you do not know what something is, leave it unchecked. Rel tags. Windows Live Writer, short link tag. And actually, I don't know if these things make your site slower or not, but I think they're right. I think that we can leave all of these things unchecked. All right. Robots meta settings. No index, no archive. These basically are our way of telling Google, hey, don't crawl this page, do not index this page. As a rule, we do not index category, tag, author, date, and search pages. The broad term for these types of pages is that they are all archive pages, and this is absolutely right. By default, these boxes are checked and these should remain checked. Apply no archive to the entire site? No. Apply no archive to category, tag, author, date, and search? I actually don't think that these should be archived. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. If they're not indexed, I don't know why they would be archived. Directories. And this is generally held true that you don't archive those settings either. So let's go ahead and click Save Changes. So I think by default, a lot of the default settings that Genesis comes with, these are solid SEO settings for your site. The site-wide, the global settings for the document title and the document title order, you can play with these a little bit. Your meta description, think very carefully about what this description should be when you appear in a Google result. What should this description be? Descriptions generally are not considered influential in your SEO ranking. Think of them rather as a call to action. How do you get people, what do you write in this description to get people to click on your link if you are appearing in search results? That's how you should really think about that. So these are the global SEO settings for Genesis. Now let's go to your posts and pages. And let's go to the About Me page. Every page has its own set of SEO settings, so you can determine the document title, the document meta description, the meta keywords, and again, keywords are really like worthless nowadays in SEO rankings. I don't even know why they put this in as an option. A custom redirect URL, canonical URL. I don't know why you would use either of these two things. Well, canonical URLs, if you have another page or another site with a set of duplicate content, you would maybe designate that URL so Google knew which link was the authority for that duplicate content. And then on a page by page basis, you have the ability to no index, no follow, and no archive pages. So if you have a page that for some reason is public, but you don't want it to get indexed in Google, you can do that on a page by page and post by post basis. And these settings are identical for posts. So you can do the same thing for your blog posts. You can have a lot of granular control over the individual SEO settings. The final thing that I want to show you, if we go back to the dashboard, and we covered this in an earlier movie, but we have a little link here that says search engines are discouraged, and that setting is under settings and then reading. This is a global setting in WordPress to discourage search engines from indexing your site, and it's very common to turn this on when your site is in development. So if you just installed WordPress, you're just getting your theme installed, you're creating content, make it so the search engines cannot index your site until you are absolutely ready to get it indexed. Between this setting, Genesis global settings, and the individual post and page settings, you have a lot of control over how your site will appear in SEO and in search results. If you need any help understanding what some of these finer points are, I recommend that you check out a website called moz.com. Go to Learn SEO and go to the Beginner's Guide to SEO. Read the chapters on, let's see here. You know what? Read every chapter that they have here. There are a couple of chapters in particular. Let's go to overview. There are a couple of chapters in particular that I think you would find incredibly helpful. If I can find them. One is on, here we go, Beginner's Guide to Link Building. Read the guide. All of these chapters are excellent. There are a couple of chapters in particular on title tags and descriptions, meta descriptions, that I think are excellent. They're not jumping out at me. But if you read the Beginner's Guide to SEO, you would get a lot of information. And between this guide and the settings in Genesis, you'll have a really solid background for good, healthy SEO on your site. I hope you thought this video was helpful. If you have any questions, you can contact me directly, Angela@themehoney.com.